Hey everyone, welcome back to Bogies Are Us. I'm Sean.
And I'm John.
Um, as you guys can tell, I'm in a hotel. I'm on a family trip slash golf trip, and we have a guest. Hi, go away. Um, so we had a pretty big week on the PGA. I think Scottie winning again. Six of the year. Was it five? No, four of the eight, seven so far.
Four out of the eight signature events plus a major.
Yeah,
So I mean he's having a heck of a year.
yeah. I don't think there's anyone right now who could beat Scotty. I think the PGA. I don't know if we can really say it's because of the whole getting arrested thing, but I kind of wonder what would happen if he didn't get arrested, right?
I
I
mean
think,
that's always going to be the question, right? Like it's this has been a career year for him, and we're going to look back at it as arguably one of the greatest individual years of all time. Um, but at the same time, it's going to have that little asterisk of like, well, what if, right?
yeah,
What if
100%.
he doesn't have a kid? What if he doesn't get arrested at the PGA? I mean, the kid thing doesn't even seem to be bothering him at this point, given that he just won again
Yeah,
after coming off a pretty, I mean, rough week at the U.S. Open. But the U.S. Open will do that to people.
yeah. We've kind of beat on it, but it's the U.S. Open, right? Like it's the toughest task you can really get to, right? I mean, so here's something for you then. Would Bryson give um Scotty a shake this year if he was still on tour? Because Bryson's playing pretty unreal right now.
I mean, Bryson's playing pretty good, but I don't think he would, keep it close with Scotty. I think we would see Bryson probably have five or six top five finishes on the PGA. I don't know how many events he would play. I'm assuming he would be kind of in the same contract side as a lot of the other top name guys, where they're more or less playing designated events, and that's about it. Um, but I just don't know if anyone's on Scotty's level right now. I mean, he's going into tournaments as money favorites, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to the grand scheme of things because there's not a lot of times you look at a golf tournament and be like, is it that guy or the field? And Scheffler's kind of given that all year where it's really a coin flip whether or not he wins or someone else does.
Yeah, and um, like Scott, I call it Scotty's in his Tiger era, is what I call it.
Yeah.
He's just so dominant all the time. Like you just can't expect him not to win. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like every time I think, oh, okay, here we go, it's a designated event. You got to think Scotty's either going to be up there or he's going to win it all.
Yeah, because he's got six wins so far, and we still got a couple months of normal events before the playoffs. It he could potentially get it if he gets another three that gets him to nine. That ties Tiger's overall record of 9 wins in a season. I mean, he's already the first person to win six before July. So I mean that he's on an unreal pace right now. I mean, I don't again, I don't think he's really got anything going for him game wise for like a Scottish or Open Championship. I just don't feel like those are the type of tournaments that kind of suit his game. But with a couple events like Rocket Mortgage, John Deere, a couple of ones like that, I don't think he's playing them just as he's kind of prepping for the bigger events. Um, I mean, I could be wrong on that. I haven't actually looked at his schedule to see what he's playing. But I mean, some of these fields are not incredibly deep. So, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if he just shows up on an off week and all of a sudden wins.
Yeah, 100%. The Scottish Open kind of. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm expecting Rory to kind of take that one. I don't know if Scotty's in that field, but Rory won it last year. It's kind of. I mean, they were getting into the Scottish Open, but like I think that's kind of more suited for where Rory's play is compared to Scotty's play. And I think Rory taking a couple weeks off is super smart on that side. But I mean, we can talk more about that later. But yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think the Open is more Scotty's style. But again, he could shock us, right? He's Scotty Scheffler. He wins everything. He's right. So who knows at this point?
Yeah, again, I just you look at the schedule coming up, like you got Rocket Mortgage and John Deere, which if he plays either one of them, it's probably one, not both. And then
Hmm.
flies over for the Scottish. He'll play there. Again, I don't expect him to have a great European run. Open Championship. Then you come back, you've got the 3M Open, which again, probably an event that he's not playing. And then you've got the Olympics, which is where he's probably going to have more of his attention. So he's in France for however long. Because, as a first time Olympian, he's probably going to stick around for a while, do his thing, maybe catch the closing ceremonies, especially since he's number one in the world. He's already got a lot of things locked up. Probably doesn't even need to play the Wyndham Championship as that first event for the playoffs.
The FedEx, yeah.
Uh, and then yeah, then you got FedEx, BMW, and Tour Championship. Like, I mean, I if he gets to 8, I think a lot of people will be impressed. If he gets to 9, again, that's just unreal.
Well, yeah. Once he gets to nine, his legacy is kind of cemented, right? I mean, you win nine in a season. No other person really did that other than Tiger,
Hmm.
right? So, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, I think him going to France, right, is kind of the priority at this point. I mean, yeah, we're saying that over the Open, but he's got his major this year. He's got five other wins. I don't think he needs to put it all on the Open. I think if you wanted to focus more and say, you know what, I'm bringing home gold, right? As an American, they love that stuff, right? Like they eat up the Olympics, right? Like
Hmm.
it's kind of what they love. So I mean, and you have Xander. You want to beat Xander? He's the defending gold medalist going back to the Olympics. So obviously it's not the same course, not the same place, but you'd have to feel like he's the guy to beat, and he's on your own team, right? And you're the best player in the world right now. Why wouldn't you want to take that?
Yeah, and I mean, you also just got to think of the venue too. Like, they're going back to Leggy Golf National, or however you pronounce
Mhm.
it. The course that they've had the Ryder Cup on when it was in France not too long ago. Like it's not like it's a completely new golf course, right?
No.
He's going to be able to look back at the results from past years and kind of see what's going on, where the holes, where you can't miss, stuff like that. So again, I just feel like that's more of a course that's going to be kind of reflective to Scotty Scheffler's game right now. Again, once he just gets put in the weather conditions of an Open Championship, I just don't fully believe that his game would hold up the same way compared to someone like a Rory who's proven themselves in those type of conditions. Um, again, I if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then so be it. But
Hey man, you know
uh,
what? At this point though, like we he could surprise us.
yeah, I mean, golf is one of those games where anyone could have a good week, which I mean, we will get into another story later in the pod that I will go into a hard rant about. But I mean, anyone could win on any given week, right? I mean, we've seen it a lot this year on the PGA Tour with guys who are 1,000 to 1 or 100 to 1 to win tournaments winning. We had an amateur win on tour for the first time in 30 years. We've had Pavon won at Torrey Pines at a U.S. Open course, and then he has a good finish at the U.S. Open.
Hmm.
Like, nobody thinks of this guy, which, I mean, watch out for the French team at the Olympics. But I mean,
Yeah.
let's realize that golf isn't one man dominated as much as we make it sound like. I mean, Scotty is by far the most dominant player on tour, but at any point in time, a guy could just pop off and go 25 under over 4 days and win a golf tournament.
Well, and that I mean that is a thing too, right? Like golf is very much like I don't want to call it fluky yet by any means, because like you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, right? I think one right bounce and I wouldn't say for us, but one right bounce for a guy on the Corn Ferry, he's on the PGA,
Mhm.
right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, like it's a big drastic thing, but like golf at any day given day, I feel like anyone could beat anyone. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but like, but you could, it could happen, especially on the
Yeah, I mean,
PGA.
like look at this week again. It's kind of an odd event because it's the Rocket Mortgage, but like Ricky Fowler won this one last year. Right?
Yeah,
Ricky Fowler hadn't won a tournament in years before that. Obviously, he had a good finish at the U.S. Open at LACC before that, but I mean, this was where he got his first win.
yeah.
Like, there's a good chance that we see a guy, let's just say a Daniel Berger, who's
Oh,
122nd in the world right now
hmm.
at plus 8,000 odds, potentially have a good week and maybe win this thing. I mean, you can make the same argument for probably about 40 guys in this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not. This isn't a designated event. You're not going to see the big guys, right? This is going to be the weekend where you're going to get to see. I know we'll use for Canada Adam Svensson because he's not in the top 50. I believe he's in it this weekend. I could be wrong, but it's going to be the weekends where you see those type of players, that just come out of nowhere. I mean, you don't be surprised if Ricky Fowler kind of just back to backs it, right? He's not playing great like he was last year, but this going back to this course, this tournament, he's won it. He's got to be, you know, you got to be feeling it a little bit, right? Got to have that confidence, but at the same time, like it could happen any week, right? Like, you talked on it. Nick Dunlop, right? He's for everyone who didn't watch or listen to us earlier in the year. Nick Dunlop's the rookie, and he's an amateur actually, like not even a rookie. An amateur, he didn't even have a status yet. Won it a
Yeah,
week later. Turn pro, or 2 weeks later, right? So like it can happen, right? You talk about Pavon at Pebble Beach, right?
Torrey
It's
Pines.
Torrey Pines. Sorry, that's what I meant. Torrey Pines. Um, that's a tough course, right? It's not easy. It's not a cakewalk, right? Again, we said it earlier in the season. When are the superstars going to show up? Maybe we said it, and then all of a sudden, boom! There's Scottie Scheffler winning everything since we said that. But like, none of the superstars were winning anything,
Hmm.
right? So to think that they're not that these guys can't win, they're the best 500 golfers in the world, right? Give or take 40 of them are on live, right? And I wouldn't even give them that many, but like, you know, like this, they can win. It's literally the matter of a dime.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a fun story coming out of the Monday qualifier this week. Nick Biens, I'm not sure exactly how to
Mm,
pronounce it, Bienz.
yeah.
Yeah. Here's a guy who works at Golf Galaxy in the States, goes and shoots 65 in a Monday qualifier, goes to the clubhouse, has 3 beer, figures out he's in a playoff, and then gets through the playoff to get into the PGA Tour event this week.
Mhm.
Like, again, a guy you've never heard of, but he goes through and now he's playing this week. And now, again, do we think he's actually going to win this golf tournament? Probably not. But if he shoots 465s, there's a good chance that he's at least up there. Again,
Yeah.
chances are, first time guy works at a golf retail store, probably not going to shoot 465s.
What are you talking
But
about, John? Come on.
yeah, I shot once 165 in my life, and it was at Shag.
We're par 65.
68. It was 300. Give me a break.
Sorry.
But yeah, like again, it's golf. Anyone can win any given week. It's who's playing well. A couple good breaks here and there go a long way. I mean, they were just re-showing a lot of epic rounds on Golf Channel today, and one of them was the '98 Women's U.S.
Mm,
Open. Siri Pak, who had to hit out of the water in her playoff, and
Inner,
there was
yeah.
the whole thing where it was 18 holes as a full playoff plus sudden death after that. So they went like 90 something holes for a US Open.
Which is
Like,
insane.
yeah, I still don't understand the whole 18-hole playoff thing. Like, wouldn't it have just been nice to have Rocco and Tiger go like 3 holes and that's it?
Yes, yes, very much.
But
Speaking of playoffs, I mean, I know we kind of moved on, but Tom Kim brought Scotty to a playoff this week.
yeah,
Obviously blew it. I didn't say blow it, but bogeyed out. And Scotty had his two putt par. But to get to the playoff, some crazy things light up on the 18th green. If I was there, I'd like to punch them all in the face, but that's illegal and I'd go to jail. So, some wild protesters threw canisters on the 18th green, came on with shirts that said a dead world, but we're playing golf on golf courses or something.
no golf courses on a dead planet or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Tom Crim credit. Like, he had a great start to the week, 62 in the first round, a couple 65s after that, 66 on the last day, just got him into the playoff. Little unfortunate that second shot in the playoff. I mean, he was 40 yards past Scheffler off the tee. He was able to let Scheffler hit first, get it in there, kind of know what he had to do. And yeah, he just kind of, didn't capitalize, just threw it in the greenside bunker. Didn't get up and down, made bogey, really kind of made it easy on Scottie to finish up there. Just had a two putt from 12 feet. So, I mean, it was a good week for Tom Kim. I mean, it's going to very likely get him into a very comfortable playoff position. I believe he's up to 39th in the FedEx Cup rankings now, so he should be good for a little while. Again, he might be another guy that you might see take a couple weeks off here, kind of prep for the playoffs now that he actually looks like he's going to get in. Um, but I mean, there's another one. He started at 60th in the world coming into the week, and he's up to 40th. Like, if Tom Kim would have won, I don't think anyone would have been like, "Oh wow, that's a complete shocker. Who is this guy?"
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's not exactly someone that going into the week you're like, "Yeah, give me number 60 in the world."
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, he's he's a player too, right? We're talking about fluke or not fluke, but like kind of streaky, right? He's that type of player, and he's so young, right? He could catch
Hmm.
fire at any given time, and like he's representing South Korea at the Olympics.
Yeah,
So like
I
he's a great player.
yeah, I mean, he is a really solid player. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be able to take that away from him. I mean, he's proven himself as one of the guys who's going to be someone to watch for probably the next 10 years. I mean, we saw him at the President's Cup. He had a really solid event there. Or if I remember correctly, it was the President's Cup.
Yeah, yeah,
And that he kind of showed off. Played against Tiger, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
young Kim versus almost a broken Tiger. It was right when Tiger was still healthy enough to play.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be one that he's going to be able to be a face on tour for years to come. I mean, with that also being said, one thing that we've kind of missed about this whole tournament too, Cameron Young shooting 59 in the third
Yeah,
round, and then
yeah, okay.
following it up with four straight birdies to start the fourth round too. Like,
Yeah, yeah, dude. It was crazy. The amount of birdies that were had was absolutely insane. It felt like it felt like everyone was going to go really low last
I mean,
weekend.
this seems to be one of the easier courses on tour. I mean, Jim Furyk shot 58 on this course years back. Like, it's crazy to think that a guy shot 59 and he still doesn't have the course record.
Yeah,
Like,
like
just the amount of like low 60 rounds that you saw out there. Like, Wyndham Clark 63 in the final round, Brian Harman 62, Tom Kim had 62 in the first round, Tom
yeah,
Hoge had a 62 in the final round, Sung J M is 63 in the third round. Like, it seems like this is the course that if you're not feeling great about your game, go there, make a bunch of birdies, and start feeling good again.
Yeah, and I like you're saying that. Justin Thomas, he was a minus 18, tied fifth, right? A player who's struggling, who needs some confidence, right? Um, I think he's uh I mean, world ranking right now, 25th in the world, which is super unheard of for Justin Thomas, right? He's, in my opinion, a top 10 player. Maybe not right now, but I do see him as like a top 10 player in the world.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, it's that's kind of one of those courses for a guy like that who needs, you're saying, get some confidence. It suits those guys like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see a few of those guys kind of this week coming up here. I mean, you got Patrick Rogers, who's could kind of be one of those guys this week. There just needs some birdies to go in. Again, Ricky Fowler, we've already alluded to. Keith Mitchell. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are kind of on that bubble of like a couple good rounds, and they're back to being top 25 in the FedEx Cup. And then if not, then they could be looking at the outside from the outside looking in at the playoffs.
yeah, 100%. I mean, like, if you want to get into kind of the Rocket, um, someone like Rob McIntyre, right, won the RBC Canadian Open, has a really good game for kind of that area of golf, right? Detroit isn't very far from Hamilton. Um, it it kind of suits a guy like that, and yeah, like I think someone like Rob McIntyre would be a good fit to win this week.
Yeah, definitely the type of player that could play pretty well. I mean, I'm just kind of taking a look through the list here. I mean, there's quite a few guys that are playing this event that are actually internationals that are going to be representing their countries here in a
Hmm.
few weeks. So I mean, like, let's look at Alejandro Tosti. Played at the U.S. Open. He's one of the longer drivers of the golf ball on tour. He's in this event. Could be kind of a good round into shape type of event before potentially heading overseas to the Open, playing there and then France. So I mean, he's going to be one to maybe keep an eye on here as well. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a few big names that you're going to see up there. And I don't think anyone's going to be surprised to see a Ricky Fowler back getting to the top of the leaderboard again. Again, like a Webb Simpson really kind of dropped a lot right now in terms of FedEx Cup points. He's down at 128th. So, I mean, he needs a couple strong weeks to get into the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good week. Obviously, again, it's a kind of an off, non-designated field event, so we'll have to wait till Sunday and see really what we get. I don't expect that it's going to be the down to the wire drama that we had at the U.S. Open, but as long as we get someone that we actually want to cheer for, I think everyone will be happy.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I mean, the U.S. Open, we were gifted everything, right? I don't think that's to argue. That's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what the drama that we needed. Um, in my opinion, not the outcome I wanted, but I'm not the one making the 2.5 foot putt. So,
Mhm.
and I probably wouldn't make it anyway. So,
Yeah, I mean it's been kind of an interesting time since then to hear all the other pros kind of come out and be like, yeah, that putt was a lot harder than a lot of people made it look like. Because I mean, Smiley Kaufman on coverage said, yeah, it's pretty much a straight in putt. Well,
yeah,
John Rahm comes out and says if he hits that straight in, it's probably off the green.
yeah, and like, well, and you even saw, like, I don't know, maybe the television, but like you even saw, like, when it comes down, like, if this is the hole, like he even sent it like that, and it still went whoop, like it just J hooked on him.
Yeah, I mean it was two and a
Like,
half feet with a cup of break, like
yeah,
pretty much the
Smiley, this,
farthest thing from a straight in
yeah,
putt.
this is why you're a commentator now, Smiley.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
Yeah, I mean, talking a little bit here about upcoming tournaments. I know we kind of alluded to the Olympics coming up in Paris. We finally got the women's side of things finalized with the LPGA doing having their women's PGA championship last week. So we finally have the full field there, and no country is sending more than three players. It's going to be a little bit interesting. Very international leaderboard on the women's side. So that's going to be a fun event to watch on that side.
Yeah, I mean, what America? I think this is the first time America's only sending three.
Yeah,
Now obviously Nelly kind of headlines that. Um, she's got to be kind of the upright favorite right now, but not playing very hot.
yeah. She's had a couple of rough weeks between the major events with women's U.S. Open, women's PGA, both having rounds in the 80s. I mean, golf is hard. It's not
Yeah,
always there. So
yeah.
I
One
mean,
minute you feel the ball every on the center of the face, and next it's everywhere. And I think she's feeling that right now. And you know, I think she has her spots locked in and stuff like that. I think she just needs to takes a little time off. You're done your PGA major, you're done the US Open major. Just now maybe focus it in, dial it in, if you're Nelly. But I mean, she's still Nelly. She's the best female player in the world right now. Um, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not her in her head, and I'm not her swing coach, so I'm not saying anything. But definitely probably take some time off and recoup. But
yeah, I
I think
mean,
Canada. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's at a point where she can take a few weeks off, kind of work herself into the Olympics for what she needs, and then stay out in Europe because you have the Women's Open about 2 weeks after the Olympics. So, I mean, if she plays, I'm assuming there's a Women's Scottish Open right before the Open Championship or the
Hmm.
Women's Open, just like it is on the men's side. So, I mean, she might go out to Europe for a week before the Olympics, kind of get her mind straight, go in fresh, and kind of play that dominant golf that we were seeing from her earlier in the year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, again, she's won 6 times. Six, yeah,
Yeah,
she won. Right. Again, you got to fatigue out at some point, right? I know we said the same about Scottie, but it's still a lot of golf, right? I mean, it's the reason why Lexi's kind of stepping back as well, right? From competitive golf is it takes a toll on your body, takes a toll on your mental, right? Like, it's Olympic year that so that's huge, right? You really want most of these people all want to play for the country, right? They want to represent. As an athlete, isn't that what you want to do?
absolutely. I mean, when if you have the chance to compete for the your national Olympic team, you're going to take that opportunity because this is something that golf generally doesn't get. It's a once in a 4 year thing. It's still kind of new because it wasn't always an Olympic sport, just kind of coming back now. So I mean, it's getting to the point where professionals want to play in the Olympics. It's not quite like hockey, for instance, where okay, Olympic gold is nice, but I'd rather win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, hey, thank you, Florida.
And you, Matthew, good shot.
Um, I mean, and this is where I maybe kind of go loose here, but like the one of the hot takes coming from the week is the Dutch teams, so the teams from the Netherlands, they would have had four players, two men's, two women's, who would have qualified for the Olympics. But for whatever unholy reason that the Dutch Golf Federation, or whatever they're calling themselves, has, they decided that they're only allowing Anne Van Dam to go from the women's side because they believe that she's the only person who's high enough ranked that she actually has a chance to have a good finish. I mean, it's an absolute joke in my mind that you have two players from each side qualify for the Olympics and your national authority on your sport is saying you're not good enough, and we're not even going to let you go play. Like we're on the women's side, you would have had Anne Van Dam, and then Dewey Weber. Dewey Weber's like 300th in the world. Again, not a lot of people even know who she is. Plays on the ladies European tour. On the men's side, you had Joost Luiten, which he has played a lot of golf and a lot of big name golf. He's played in 21 majors. He's played the Masters twice. He's won 6 times on the DP World Tour. Like, this isn't a guy who's just like walked off the street. I mean, he's a known player on the European Tour, and again, it's another one of those ones where he's coming in at 177th in the world at this point, and his national association saying you're not good enough. Yet 4 years ago in Tokyo, you had CT Pan, who at the time was 181st in the world, win bronze, and you had Sepp Straka, who at the time was 161st in the world, win silver, even sorry, not Sepp Straka, Rory Sabatini. And there was the whole thing about Rory Sabatini taking the nationality of his wife instead of his nationality to make it so he can actually get on an Olympic team. Because he was never going to make it on the South African Olympic team when you guys have like Oosthuizen and Schwartzel and a few other guys down there who are really strong players. You go to Slovakia and it's a little bit of an easier route. Um, Again, it's just mind blowing that the politics of the Olympics gets in the way of players competing for their country on an international stage.
Yeah, and you should never, ever, 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 ever stop. If you're ranked enough and you have I want to say seat for your national title to go, send them. The more representation, the better, right? Like, isn't that what they say? Like, and like, I'd rather see four of our best golfers go and have them there, and it doesn't matter if they finish first or finish last, right? They're there, and
Yeah,
100,
they've qualified. They've earned
yeah,
it.
yeah, and like 179th is what you said
For Joost Luiten,
for
177. The
177.
other men's side, Will Besseling, he's at 221.
Okay, realistically, okay, two between 175 and 225, right? That's to be in the top 225 golfers in the world is still unfucking believable,
Yeah.
right? Like, like you, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know what they're thinking, and this is because they have to pay. Like, here, and I guess maybe this is kind of what I'm thinking about, but like, is it because they have to pay for them to go?
No, no. I mean, you have you've got the Netherlands who's going to have, you've got their Euro team right now who's somehow qualified through to the knockout
Mm,
stage of Euro, which was
yeah,
a shocker. I thought they got eliminated. But you've got a huge amount of money within their Olympic federation because they are highly regarded as one of the best speed skating nations in the world.
right.
Now, I don't know background politics and money relative to Winter Olympics and Summer Olympics, but there's no way that sending 4 people to essentially a neighboring country is too much of a financial burden when you're going to have the men's soccer team doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just it is. I don't know. It's infuriating that they're holding back players who could go and dominate. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there is a chance that you could still go and medal.
Yeah, I mean I've watched a decent amount of European Tour golf, and I've seen Joost Luiten get in contention in some of these
Yeah,
tournaments. I mean, he hasn't really won anything super recently. I think his last win was about 2 years ago. But I mean, again, Rory Sabatini won nothing before going to the Olympics in Tokyo.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, he almost beat Morikawa too. Like, it was close.
Yeah,
Uh, so like, who says that he can't just go have a good week, right? I mean, especially when you're coming from some of these smaller countries and you're so far down in the rankings, you go in there and you just have fun because there's no expectation of you. It's
yeah,
not like you're going in as a Scottie Scheffler who's number one in the world, who is coming from the golf dominating country in the world ranking wise consideration. Um, and then to not play well would be a bit of a letdown, right?
yeah. I mean, what's going to be more talked about? Scotty Scheffler losing in a playoff for gold, or a person from the Netherlands winning a gold?
Yeah, 100%. It would be what a letdown that Scotty Scheffler lost to this guy in an orange shirt. Like,
Yeah, but right, we wouldn't talk about it for very long. We'd talk more about how did Scotty lose to 177th or 225th overall player in the world against Scotty Scheffler, who dominates the PGA, right? Which is the hardest tour in golf, right? I mean, in my opinion. Um, so I think it, yeah, like I didn't hear a lot about it, but I just read up on it while you were talking about it. Um, and it infuriates me because so I ref hockey at a pretty high level, and um, a girl that I ref with, she actually represented Canada for speed skating. And when I tell you that she's built like a fucking truck, she's built like a truck. Her legs are huge. And she said the most important thing she ever got to do was represent her country at the Olympics. And so thinking about the fact that they like they were able to get into contention and now not able to go because their country's not letting them go. Can you imagine if Brooke Henderson, uh, Elaine Sharp, correct?
Elena Sharp, yeah.
Elena Sharp, thank you. Like Nick Taylor and Corey Connors were told they all clinched and they were told by the federation that they weren't allowed to go represent Canada.
I mean, I would almost think of it in more in a way of like, because I mean, with all due respect to those players, they are still all fairly high ranked. I look at this more like, what if Canada just said, we're not sending a team to the Spengler Cup
Yeah,
because they're not the top players in the world. There's because they're not playing in the NHL. They're
yeah,
not young enough that they're playing at the World Junior Hockey Championships, and they're not good enough to beat these like club teams from Sweden. Why are they going to go embarrass Canadian hockey like that?
yeah, no,
Right? I mean,
yeah,
like that's how I see it. Like we would be shocked if they just came out and said, "Yeah, we're not going to the Spengler Cup this year because
yeah,
we feel like our team's not good enough to compete."
yeah. Like there'd be outrage in Canada.
Yeah. Now, again, I'm not saying that Dutch golf is as passionate as Canadian hockey. I nowhere near that. So I don't think anything compares to that. But it's just the idea of it of like I've qualified, I'm gonna do this, and Big Brother's like, yeah, no, you're not. We don't want you embarrassing us.
Yeah, I that actually infuriates me. God, is that what your Twitter thing was about the other day?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, like
yeah.
it's just a joke. Like
God,
I couldn't imagine even if it was like there's just nothing that even compares to the Olympics because again, it's once every 4 years, and in a country like the Netherlands or any of these smaller countries, you got to be in the top two of your country's national rankings to go. You are
yeah.
the top golfer in your country, and they're like, "Yeah, but you're not as good as the rest of the world, so just don't go." Like,
So I'm as good. I'm just not ranked as good.
like I heard a kind of a crazy stat, and just like stay with me here for a second. Michael Phelps has won more Olympic medals than the entire country of Mexico. Oh, total. And yet Mexico's still sending their athletes to compete at the Olympics. And yet one guy has more medals than your entire country.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, Michael Phelps is the greatest swimmer of all time, but you know,
I mean, Katie Ledecky. Let's hold judgment on that one. But
we'll get there this year. We'll see.
greatest male swimmer, I'll give him that much.
Yeah, yeah, and then he was found for using enhancement drugs,
Enhancement, relaxing, you know, a
boost
little
the metabolism, get more
a
food
little
in him.
herbal
Well,
treatment.
he's eating 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If I was that high, I'd eat 10,000 calories a day.
I
I'd
mean,
be
when you
400
swim
pounds in
that
no time.
much,
But
when you swim that much, I guess you need it.
yeah, well, any like top tier athletes got crazy dietary restrictions like that.
God, that is disgusting. But yeah, like again, like you're saying, right? Like all of Mexico athletes, Michael Phelps has more medals than them. You're still gonna send them.
Yeah, you're still going to send Mexican swimmers. You're going to still
Yeah,
put again, the Mexican soccer team, again, that's its own thing. Don't worry about that.
yeah,
But like, you're not hearing about great Mexican triathletes or great Mexican basketball teams
yeah,
or anything like that. I mean, again, basketball is one that you just know you're going to get rinsed by the U.S. every year. But
yeah.
I guarantee you, Nigeria is still sending a team, and they're probably going to all get their sneakers signed by LeBron when they lose by 100. Like,
Canada.
I don't know. The Canadian team actually looks half decent. So,
Yeah, they look pretty good this year, actually. So
yeah, I
maybe a
mean, we're playing
bronze.
for a bronze medal on that one.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree. You just send your players, man. Like send them, let them have fun, let them represent their country. And again, you don't get to do it all the time, right? Like when I was 16, I got to represent Canada in Europe playing hockey, right? I mean, it wasn't like Team Canada; it was a Canadian team, the Canadian jerseys, and it was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my whole entire life,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I had something like that with golf. It was a U.S. Canada like CJGA versus AJGT Ryder Cup thing.
Yeah,
But like, I still got the bag that says Team Canada
yeah.
somewhere around
Yeah,
here.
and one of my bags, one of my jerseys in my bins in my house, right? So I think such a stupid thing, and it makes me so irritated that they're actually are doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's. I'm
stupid.
hoping that the internet raises enough of a stink that they go back on it. I mean, my Dutch is pretty loose, but part of my French, fuck them.
Yep, yep, exactly. I've tabernacle. That's what they'd say in France. Sacre tabernacle.
Easy on the Quebecois.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
Uh,
how do you think with on the Olympic topic? How do you think Canada fares? Obviously, on the women's side, now that we kind of touched on it, Brooke and Elena are representing Canada at the Olympics.
I mean, I think Brooks got a very legitimate chance. I mean, she won the Evian a couple of years ago in France, so potentially some good mojo going there. Again, with Nelly kind of being a little hit and miss lately. Uh, some of the Korean players have been playing pretty well too. Like, I think she's got a real good chance at getting a podium position. I don't know really what her chances are for gold per se. I mean, if she plays well, she plays well. I mean, let's not count anything out here. Um, but I mean, they do have it where again they play both men's and women's on the same course, so it'll be a little bit interesting to see what a top tier women's tournament would do on a Ryder Cup course. Kind of interested to see that just from a pure scoring perspective. Um, the men's side, I would be more surprised if we were actually in contention on the men's side. Um, just again, with how deep the men's side is, with your top 15 being a real solid group of four Americans, Rory, a lot of really good golfers that are going to kind of get up for this type of event. If we get a medal in men's golf, I will probably be as shocked as anybody.
Yeah, men's golf isn't really where I see CS medaling. I see getting in the top 10. Um, I just, man, like Colin, Xander, Scottie, Rory, Shane. I don't know, man. It's tough on the men's side. It is not an easy run, right? Especially when USA has four guys who can take it to you any day. And then you have two guys from Ireland. I kind of just I talk a little bit more about them as that's where I'm from or like my background, but um, yeah, like I think and Canada is stacked. I say Corey Connors might have the best chance because he's the most consistent right now. I think if you look at it, but I'd say Brooke is probably our best chance to get gold in golf.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, and I'd be rooting for Brooke to get gold in golf any day of the week.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you know this, but they're in Calgary and then they shoot to France.
Yep, they hopping straight to YYC and flying direct to Paris.
Yeah,
Or I don't know, maybe the KLM flight to Amsterdam and then hop over. I don't know if there's actually a direct Calgary to Paris flight.
I'm sure most of those guys are on private planes.
Probably.
You put them on an athlete's plane or something and send them over.
I mean, that's going to be a fun week just in general because I've got PG of Alberta Head Professional Championship that Monday, Tuesday, and then
Ooh.
there's the Canadian Open at Earl Grey in Calgary that weekend. So a lot of good golf to be played in Calgary that week.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. Are you playing?
Yep, I'm playing the PGA event,
Oh, where is it?
Calgary Club.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I missed the initial registration deadline, so I was on a wait list for about a month, and I got the notification I got in a couple weeks back. So I'm pretty amped because that's going to be pretty much the one event I'll be able to get to play this year. Just obviously with kid taking up most of my time right now. But I mean, it's the first year I was even eligible for the head professional championship, so super excited for that one. The Calgary Country Club is a great course, super old school. Was fortunate enough to be a junior member there for 1 year back in junior, so have a vague memory of the course itself.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, really looking forward to that one.
Well, you know, get out and get a practice round in.
I wish.
No favors for the good guy.
I don't think I've got too many spare days that I can say, "Hey, hon, I'm just gonna go play golf in Calgary. Be back in 8 hours."
I love you. I'll miss you, but I need to go play golf.
Yeah, yeah. Leave
Uh,
at 7, back at 7. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about me.
yeah, don't worry. You're good. You're fine. No need to
Yeah,
ask questions.
and I know she listens to this, so hi, honey, love you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I promise you, I'm not encouraging anything. No, I mean that's sweet, man. Congrats. I didn't actually didn't know that. And I feel like we talk every day almost. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I'll actually have to practice. I've actually ordered a new putter, so let's see if that shows up in time.
Oh, did you order your secret lab putter?
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So maybe that's supposed to show up roughly around that same time frame. I'm not banking on it showing up by then, but if it does, that'd be awesome.
Well, fingers crossed that it comes in just in time.
Yeah.
Well, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
you got a little golf trip going here as well, right?
yeah, I'm on a little golf trip. I'm playing Pred, Photo Springs, um, hopefully Bear Mountain in Victoria with my buddy, or I'm gonna play Olympic. Um, and I'm looking at a couple other courses while I'm in Lake Country. I'm looking at the Rise in Vernon. Um,
If if you have a chance, it's maybe a little bit of a pricey, but maybe a little bit out of the way. But Sagebrush, I've heard nothing but good things about.
where is it?
Out closer to Kamloops.
Okay, I mean, yes. If I'm going to go to Kamloops, I think Tobiano.
Tobiano would definitely be one as well. That if you have a
Yeah,
chance,
I
play that.
Kamloops is like an hour 15,
Yeah, so
and
not
it's
like
not.
out of possibility, but definitely a bit of a day trip.
Yeah, you gotta look at like 2.5 hour drive together, plus 5 hours, 5.5 hours on the course.
Yeah.
I like my marriage, John.
Just take Jackie with you. She'll have fun.
Yeah, leave the kids with my buddy and be like, hey, we're going golfing.
Yeah. Uncle Jimmy over here is gonna take care of you today.
Yeah, Uncle Danny, you're up, big guy. Yeah, no, I'm looking. I've looked at the Rise for Saturday coming up. I'm playing Kelowna Springs on Canada Day, and then I'm playing Pred on the third. Um, and then we're in Seattle, which I have my clubs, but I don't have the time because we're going to Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, no, I don't think anything in the States. Then we'll run up to Victoria for 3 4 days, and then I'm hoping like I'm going to get around in there. So Olympic, um, oh my gosh, what is it called now? Give me one sec. I'm going to open it up.
Bear Mountain,
Bear
Gorge Vale,
Mountains. It's
Olympic View.
Olympic View. Thank you. Yeah, Olympic View is where I booked my tea time, but my buddy is a member at Bear Mountain, and he doesn't know if he's going to be in town yet because he has a tournament.
Yep.
So you know him. So I don't know why I'm saying my buddy, but yeah, he has a tournament as well. He thinks so. He's just waiting to hear back on that, and then if he's playing that, then I'm playing Olympic. If he's not and he's home, we're gonna go play Bear Mountain.
Nice.
So I would like Bear Mountain.
Yeah, Bear Mountain's is awesome facility. I love Bear Mountain. I love the Valley course. Just a real fun golf course.
Yeah, that's what we'd play, and it's like his discount for guests is $120 the
Which is a
card.
good deal.
Yeah, yeah, because I looked and it was $280.
Yeah.
So I was like, God damn! I was like, sign me up. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm
that's island time for you.
yeah, so I mean I'm looking. I've booked my Olympic view for myself. Um, they're like we're gonna do that, but yeah, so at least get 4 rounds in while I'm gone for 2.5 weeks, and then I come home and I'll be back to the grind. I'm starting to Mark, Mark from Woodside.
Snowcross?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be working with him for the next probably month, before club champs. Just kind of figure putting and swings out and just figure life out, John.
Yeah.
When Jason and Kevin go second place in a tournament and Jason's not a pro and he's going to play club champs, you got to figure something out.
Well, I mean, he used to be a pro and then he threw his back out and he's been recovering for 10 years. So,
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know, like I want to give her a go this year at club champs. So when I get back, it's just going to be practice, 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 like putting work, getting shots where needed to be course management. stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
and I'll be at the women's open.
there you go. I know Austin from the shop will be down there Saturday, Sunday. So
Oh, is he coming down?
yeah, he's doing some stuff for the store.
Oh, he's actually going to work it.
Yeah,
Lucky ducky.
yeah.
That's not a bad gig.
Better than standing in a golf store all day.
Unless it's raining.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
And it's Calgary. Anything's possible.
Exactly.
But yeah, man. Um, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
That's kind of it for the week.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to our picks for
Oh,
the Rocket Mortgage.
yeah.
I'll just go out and say I'm gonna take Alejandro Tosti and Steven Yeager as my
Yeah.
two.
Even Jaeger. Man, he's playing good this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of said it earlier, but Rob McIntyre and Ricky Fowler, I think something needs to happen for Ricky this year. And why not make it the course that you probably know really, really, really well and play really well at? Yeah, those would be my two. Again, it's in Detroit. And Rob played really well in Hamilton, which if isn't very far from each other. It's just literally a bridge. Um, so yeah, those would be my two picks.
There you go.
Yeah, man. And hopefully Scottie stops winning. I'm tired of watching Scottie win every week.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the fun factor that Tiger had when he was winning this much.
No, like at least there's some fist bumps and like the I don't know, Scotty, just give us something, big guy. Stop getting
Yeah,
arrested.
yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know if you saw, but so there's a so when the protesters came on to the 18th green, he like went and stood by Ted Scott and Tom Kim and his caddy, and someone's like make a caption of it, and I go, "Hey, Ted, stay close to me so they don't arrest me this time." And it's like, and then like I think I got a bunch of likes on it, but like, man, could you imagine just 30 cops around? And then his like comment after he's like, did an unreal job. Like, thanks for the police force and stuff. And I was like, yikes.
I think my favorite one was Adam Hadwin reposted the video. And it's like, yeah, at least when I got tackled, I held on to the drink.
Yeah. God, yeah, it's what a mess. But what a good weekend of golf.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Scotty doesn't win everything. But I mean, again, like I said, he's in his Tiger era. Who knows?
Hmm.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm gonna let you go to bed because it's late there. But we will chat later. And thanks to everyone for listening. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and I think Facebook's connected now. At Bogies R Us, and then my personal page is SDud17.
And you can find me across most social media at JM Golf 316.
Perfect, buddy. Okay, well, I will chat later, and have a
Have a
good
good
night.
night. Play well this week.
Oh yeah.